Warm welcome to CA Raja classes and thank you so much for joining this mini and micro webinar. Before we get into the discussion, let me just take a couple of minutes to introduce myself. I am CA N Raja, a chartered accountant by qualification, a teacher and trainer by passion and teacher for 3 lakh plus students worldwide. I started my career as a banker with State Bank of India. Then after a period of 4 years, I got into CA practice. I had my practice for 7.5 years, but I realized my calling is teaching. I started focusing on teaching and training, and today with the blessings of God we have 3 lakh plus students worldwide. So now it's time for us to get into the session. Let us understand what is letter of credit. Let's look at this transaction. There is a seller and a buyer. Seller selling goods to buyer and buyer is making payment to seller immediately, and there is no complication in this transaction. We can say it's a normal transaction, but just think of a transaction where the buyer and seller are in different geographies or say in different countries, and they do not know much about each other, but this buyer wants to purchase goods on credit and seller is also ready to sell on credit, but seller does not know this buyer thoroughly, and because of that he lacks faith. And here the seller says to the buyer, if you can give me some kind of a comfort or security, I am ready to sell goods on credit. So what this buyer will do? He will approach his bank where he is having his working capital facilities, and he'll explain the situation that there is a seller who is ready to sell goods on credit, but he needs some kind of a comfort. So what this bank will do, after assessing the position of the buyer, that is bank's customer, this bank will send a letter called letter of credit, and in that letter bank will say, hey seller, you can sell goods on credit to this buyer who is our customer. And hereby saying this, bank is indirectly assuring the financial standing of the buyer, and then bank also gives assurance that buyer will make payment on the due date. And in case if the buyer is not making the payment on the due date, then do not worry, you come and ask us, we will pay you provided you guys have agreed on all the conditions. That is, you guys agree on conditions and comply with the conditions. Let's say for buying goods, buyer will place certain conditions, and only when seller comply with all the conditions, as a banker we will honor it. Okay, so that will be mentioned in the letter of credit by the buyer's bank to the seller's bank. Now seller has got a big comfort because there is an assurance, that too from the bank, that buyer will make payment on the due date, and even if buyer does not pay any money, okay, he is going to get that money from the bank provided that seller is complying with all the conditions that are mentioned in the letter of credit. Okay, so on the strength of this letter of credit, seller is going to sell goods to the buyer on credit basis, and it is the duty of the buyer to make payment on the due date to the seller. But what will happen if buyer does not pay on the due date? Simple. Seller will ask the bank to make payment which has issued letter of credit, and this scenario will be called as devolvement of LC. If all conditions stipulated in the letter of credit are complied by the seller, then the bank which had issued LC has no room to escape. They have to make payment to the seller. Of course, eventually they can collect it from the buyer, but they got to meet the payment to the seller. So this mechanism is nothing but LC mechanism, and it promotes trade. It helps various transactions to take place. Okay, so this is about LC. And who are the parties generally involved in LC? Number 1, the buyer, we call him as applicant. 2, seller, we call him as beneficiary. And number 3 is the bank of the buyer, that is LC issuing bank. Okay, we call it as LC issuing bank. And the LC will not be dispatched simply through post, it will be routed through another bank in seller place. We call that bank as advising bank. And sometimes seller may be in a dominating position, or seller may not believe the LC issued by the issuing bank of the buyer. Seller may stipulate a condition saying that LC got to be confirmed by bank in his location. So another bank may also come into picture. We call that bank as a confirming bank, and it's through these banks the entire LC process revolves. Let's have a look at the types of letter of credit. Now, types of letter of credit would basically depend upon
the method of payment, whether the LC is revocable or not, whether any middleman is involved or not, or whether any other transactions is involved or not. Okay, so it depends upon all this. Now, the basic classifications what we can have is number one, irrevocable LC. It does not mean we are going to have a revocable LC. That concept was removed way back in 2007. It means now all LCs that are opened are irrevocable in nature. It means you cannot, you can neither amend nor cancel the LC without the express agreement of all parties to the LC. So that's what we mean by irrevocable LC. It means when we say all parties, the applicant, issuing bank, beneficiary, all three minimum should agree. Then we can also have two or three other classifications or types of LC. One, we have site LC. Site LC is a case where the supplier is not giving, the seller is not giving any credit to the buyer. It means the buyer is opening LC in favor of seller just to get his confidence so that he can send the goods, because the goods have to travel a longer distance, and the seller has a fear whether the buyer would pay or not, say without credit itself, because there is going to be a transit period and whether he will pay or not, so there is a fear. So seller has insisted on LC and buyer had opened LC in favor of seller, and that is a site LC. So in site LC, what is going to happen? The buyer's bank would open the LC, and by the time it reaches, that is by the time it is cited to the bank, the payment has to be made. Okay, it means if the seller is going to show the documents which are prescribed in letter of credit which is opened by the buyer in favor of the seller, and if the seller is going to show all the documents, say like invoice, say the transit documents, shipment documents, and insurance, whatever that is stipulated, and if everything is shown, then payment at site should happen. So here the payment is happening on or upon presentation of documents. Even though we say site, it would take minimum say 7 days, or it sometimes it goes like 7 plus 7 plus 7, 21 days. Okay, so that's about site LC. Then there is something known as use-on LC, where the seller is permitting a certain credit period to the buyer. So here the buyer would open the LC, it would reach the seller would showcase the documents, okay, and the payment for the seller would happen only after the use-on period plus these say that minimum grace period, or that 7 plus 7 plus 7 days. Okay, so credit period is offered by the seller, payment is going to happen on a prefixed date. Then we also have two other kind of LCs, inland LCs and foreign LCs. That's based on the geography. The LCs which are issued within the country we call as inland, and LC that are used in import-export transaction we call them as foreign LC. Let's move on to assessment of letter of credit limit. We know letter of credit is a facility which is given by the bank to enable its customer to buy goods on credit from his supplier. That is, bank will be issuing letter of credit in favor of supplier, so that supplier will sell goods on credit to bank's customer. So how this facility is assessed? It is purely linked with purchases. So first let's capture what will be annual purchases. Annual purchases, but not all purchases will be made on credit. There will be some cash payment, there will be some advance payment, there will be some purchases on credit without LC also. Okay, so we should know how much purchases are expected to be made under LC. So we'll say procurement under LC. There is going to be certain amount. Say for example, if annual purchases is 120 crore, and let's say the procurement under LC is expected to be only around say like 40 crore. Okay, only 40 crore worth of goods are going to be procured under LC. Fine. Then we should know what is the monthly purchase. Monthly purchase of what? Monthly purchase of LC goods. Okay, which is nothing but item number B divided by 12. So let me put that here. Item number B divided by 12, we get something like 3.33. Okay, so this is the monthly purchase of goods under LC. I'll rewrite monthly purchase of goods under LC. Fine. Now we should also factor the credit period because this is on credit, right? LC is issued so that the customer can buy goods on credit. So what is the period involved in this? That is, we should capture total time involved here. Total time. Total time in the sense, two time factors are there. One is usance time period and the other one is lead time period. Usance time period is the credit period given by the supplier to the customer. Lead time period is the time taken by the supplier to execute the order. Let's say the bank's customer has placed order with supplier and supplier is going to take 21 days for executing that order. So that's the lead time period. And usance time period is the credit period which he gives. Let's say for example, lead time period, that is if a customer makes an order today, the supplier will take 15 days to manufacture those goods and supplier is also giving 45 days credit. So if I order goods today, it will take 15 days for manufacturing and from there 45 days count will start. So if I order today, payment will happen only on the 60th day. So we can say total time taken is 45 plus 15, 60 days. That is equivalent to 2 months, right? This is 60 days, which I'm going to say as 2 months. I'm going to say this as 2 months, right? So what is the monthly purchase of goods under LC? It is 3.33 crore. Okay. And I should give LC for 2 months requirement. So my monthly purchase is 3.33. Then for 2 months, it will be 3.33 multiplied by 2. So I can say item E, eligible LC limit is nothing but item number C multiplied by D, which is 3.33 crore per month multiplied by 2 months. So this is the eligible LC limit, and this is how LC limits are assessed.
Thank you for watching this webinar. I am sure you have derived value from this webinar. And if you wish to learn more, I have some good opportunity for you. What is that? Check out.
It is this Credit and Financial Analysis Mastery course exclusively designed for bankers and for those who want to have bankers' point of view. This is a course which we have developed after a detailed analysis, a thorough discussion with several hundreds of bankers and finance professionals. We have identified what is their exact requirement when it comes to SME and corporate credit and financial analysis. In this mastery bundle, I'm going to give you access to various courses. To start with, we have course number 1, Basics of Credit Analysis. In this course, we have explained the basics of credit analysis through various sections, section 1 to 9. Next comes course number 2, that is how to read balance sheet. In this course, we have explained what is balance sheet, how to read them, how to approach them by using real life financial statements. Then comes course number 3, how to do financial ratio analysis like a banker. In this course, we have explained all critical ratios that are analyzed by the bankers, and we have also explained through case studies. Then we have course number 4, how to do cash flow analysis. So through this course you will understand what is cash flow analysis, how to do a typical cash flow analysis. We have used case studies and reference to Ind AS is also included in this course. Then we have course number 5, that is how to do fund flow analysis. This is a critical financial analysis tool, and in this course you will learn what is fund flow statement, how to analyze them from banker's angle, how to prepare fund flow statement from academic angle as well. So overall 5 courses, each 1499. So aggregate price should be 7495, but you are not going to pay that. For you it's just rupees 2499 for 1 year access, or rupees 4999 for lifetime access. And it is not yet over, you have some more bonus. Bonus is course number 6, how to carry out credit risk rating for non-trading entities. These are all the topics covered in this course. Then course number 7, it is how to carry out credit risk rating for trading entities. Not yet over, you also have access to course number 8, that is how to prepare CMA report for bank loans. It's a comprehensive course which will run for 8 plus 5 hours, and you will learn entire CMA report preparation process. And course number 9, how to prepare cash budget for bank loans. Course number 10, how to assess fund-based working capital. So in this course you will understand what is working capital, what are working capital credit facilities and how to assess them, what are the key ratios that are related to working capital, and what are the additional key analysis that will be done by bankers on working capital matters. You will get a comprehensive understanding of cash credit, export finance, and there are certain on-demand videos as well. So 5 plus 5, 10 courses of value close to 15,000 rupees, but you are going to get it for 1 year access rupees 2,499, lifetime access rupees 4,999. Not yet over. You are going to get access to the 11th course, how to assess non-fund based credit facility. So in this course you will learn about letter of credit, bank guarantee, its assessment as well. Then comes course number 12, how to do term loan appraisal and assessment, because it's a complex process with a lot many technicalities. So this course covers all in detail. And course number 13, basic elements of loan proposal. So how a typical loan proposal will be, what are the basic elements that are covered in this course. And we have course number 14, case study on credit analysis. Various case studies based on practical experience and discussion with various bankers and finance professionals are included in this course. And course number 15, this is about collateral securities, where you get knowledge about collateral securities. So overall it's 15 courses of value close to 22,485. It's 1,000 plus lectures. You can subscribe for 1 year access or lifetime access as you wish. These are all pre-recorded courses, so you can access them anytime as per your convenience. You can access them in mobile app or desktop, and for you the price is not 22,485, it is rather 2,499 for 1 year access or 4,999 for lifetime access. You can check the link in description, where without using any discount coupon code you can enroll at this discounted price because it's a discount applied link. And not yet over, you are also eligible for some more bonus. The bonus is access to various ebooks and e-resources. You are going to get access to various financial ratios ebooks, financial management related ebooks. You will get access to financial analysis related ebooks, credit analysis ebooks. Not yet over, you will also get access to other resources like test series, templates, audiobooks, video books, career guidance material, and a bonus resource. Check the link in description and enroll now.